Hey, welcome to the Ill Noise Business Playbook. I've got Christian Leal here with KO Business Solutions. Christian, how you doing today?
Good, good. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing good. It's as I was telling you before we started here. It's nice to see you again. We've seen each other in these kind of platforms before, and always nice to see a friendly face. So I know we're gonna we're gonna talk about your business. The company that you're associated with and all the wonderful things you guys are doing at KO Business Solutions. But I also like to have the audience learn a little bit about you. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
know that you and I share a passion for sports.
Yeah.
You played football when you were younger, is that correct?
Yeah, I did. Played football throughout high school. Loved it. Actually, you talked about how you love baseball. You'll get a kick out of this. Me and my brothers and all of my friends, we play softball. 16 in softball, 2 nights a week.
Okay,
Tuesdays and Thursdays. The main team that I play for is on Thursdays. It's with my brothers, my best friends that I grew up with. So yeah, that's a lot of fun, and I
nice,
enjoy it a lot.
awesome. Well, hey, if you ever you guys need an extra guy, or if somebody doesn't show up, feel free to give me a buzz, and if I'm available, I'll come out there. I'm not as young and spry as I once was, but
Yeah, no,
I'll still do the
absolutely, man.
best I can. Well, listen, I know you work at KO Business Solutions. I actually had the opportunity to meet the head of the organization because of you and what you were able to do with the connection. I greatly appreciate that. But talk to us about KO Business Solutions and what inspired you to work for such a great organization.
Yeah, absolutely. So, little background on KO. The partners, Scott and Brianna Nicholson, opened up KO about 9 years ago after coming from the call center world. So, I don't know if you know much about the call center world, but it is chaotic. They had 1,000 employees. They were working on all kinds of government projects, and they saw that there was a need in the recruiting industry for a company that really cared about what they were doing and really wanted to help companies fill roles. And they were working with companies, other recruiting companies, that didn't show really passion. They were just throwing people out to work, really weren't making sure they were qualified. And so Scott and Bree, when they left that company, started KO with the purpose of making sure companies got the people that they needed, but also making sure it was affordable
Okay,
for these small companies, because
sure.
we're a small company too, and the reason why I wanted to work for them is, right off the bat, when I started interviewing with them, I just got the sense of, you know family. The company is Scott and Brianna Nicholson. They're the partners. Brianna's sister Shannon is a big part of the company. She's our chief sales and marketing officer. And then Jake Nicholson, their son, also does a lot of special projects and like data analytics and stuff like that.
Awesome. What sort of challenges has the organization faced as a small business?
Yeah, I mean, last year, for instance, was really tough for all recruiting agencies. A lot of people were not spending money because they were worried about the election, and the economy was took a hit. A lot of people were out looking for jobs, but not a lot of companies were actually hiring. They were scared to spend money. They took it as, we can do recruiting by ourselves. We don't need to go out and talk to a third party or a recruiting firm like what we do. They rather do it themselves. That way, kind of save themselves a little bit of money. But I'm sure they're running into some problems as well along the way.
So when you're looking at, you're obviously you're looking for more work. You're looking to increase your customer base. So
Yeah.
what sort of strategies does Scale Business Solutions have to grow that customer base? We want to, whenever we're associated with a business, we want to acquire customers, we want to keep customers, we want to get referrals from those customers. But what sort of strategies do you guys put in place to grow that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Scott and myself are, well, Scott really is the, what you call the prime time connector. He knows a ton of people. He was the one who pushed me to get into networking and get out there and get our names out there and start making real relationships with people, because that's where you're going to do your best work. You're going to make these relationships, and along the way, people are going to get to know you, and they're going to just be out and about, and they're going to hear something, and they're like, oh, I know a guy who does that. Hey, why don't you give Christian a call? Why don't you give Scott a call? And positioning ourselves in a way that, when we're not just getting referrals, we're giving other people referrals.
Nice.
We're part of many referral groups. I mean, I myself am a part of two. I know Scott's a part of like probably three or four. You know, Getting in touch with these people and helping them and not expecting something in return, but just doing it because we want to help, pushes other people to be like, oh, hey, he helped me. How can I help Christian now? And that's what we're really pushing for, and that's what we were focused on last year and going into this year. So it's been very helpful in us growing.
When you talk about networking groups, are you talking about actually getting yourself out there, going to happy hours, going to ribbon cuttings, doing stuff like that? Are you talking about more social media or social media? I guess virtual networking events, like like in this sort of format. All of the above. Like,
Yeah, all
what
of the
sort of?
above. I would say our biggest is probably getting out and going to like lunches, happy hours, one-on-ones, like making sure that we're getting in front of the right people and getting out there and just really making connections that could not only help us, but help others.
Gotcha. You had mentioned the challenges that you guys were dealing with last year. Because of the election, anytime that there's any sort of alteration in the political climate, it's gonna cause people to kind of do things maybe not so naturally. But what sort of future trends in the industry do you anticipate, and then how do you anticipate KO Business Solutions sort of getting ahead of those trends and making sure that they can that they can deal with them appropriately?
Yeah, absolutely. When we changed what we were doing from staffing to more of a recruiting and consulting, there's a lot of things that went into that. The recruiting world is very populated by companies who might want to overcharge and really are looking for, just to fill a position. You see that all the time with different recruiting firms and how they just want their percentage of they want their profit, and then that's all they're worried about. What we're doing at KO is a lot different. We're helping companies find long-term employees who want to stay there, who are a culture fit, who are out there and they're looking for a job, but they're not really sure what their next career path should be. We work with companies, and we're doing something that I don't think anybody else out there is doing. We don't work on a contingent basis. We don't work on a retainer basis. We work solely on an hourly basis to help our customers save money. In the last year and a half since we rolled out this program, we've saved companies between 40 to 60% over going with a big firm. And that's just because we can kind of customize things our way and work with customers to make sure that they are getting the best bang for their buck, and that they're only paying for what they're actually want. We give customers full flexibility. We're getting them data analytics every week to see how it is we're doing and how it is that the market's doing. And then also we do a lot of market research. At the beginning of each of our searches, we're going out and getting research from the market. We're testing to see what other companies are paying for their employees to make sure that they're, paying the same. Or if they're not, we have to have that conversation with them. Maybe that's why this job has been on the market for so long. And really getting into the deep and nitty-gritties of what a company needs. And then we go out and find that person. And we've been very successful in doing that.
That's awesome. This is the part of the show that I got to admit I love the most. So talk to me about a client. Talk to me about someone that you were able to assist. Talk to me about a company. Whatever floats your boat here, Christian, but talk about something that's inspired you, that's motivated you, something that you've been able to do since you've been at KO Business Solutions. Let's be honest, no matter who we work for, there's going to be some days where we don't have the energy we'd like to have, right? But then when you rely on some of those stories, you're like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. And, I want another one of these stories to come to the party. So give us an example of something like that, Christian.
Yeah, so I'm not going to talk about one client. I'm kind of going to talk about what we just did a couple weeks ago. Actually, is we brought together a group of customers we have currently and businesses that we know the owners of, and we had a focus group. And the purpose of this focus group was to give information and get back feedback on what it is that they're seeing in their own companies and what they've experienced in the past, and how maybe we can go forward and offer some of these services. So we listen to people talk about stuff their companies are struggling with, what their companies are good at, what they might need in the future if they keep growing at the rate they're growing. And I think we had 7 different businesses, all with different struggles and not in the same industry. So, you're talking with, there wasn't for instance, oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue, an environmental science company.
Okay.
There was a plumbing company that, does commercial plumbing and new plumbing from the ground up. We have a gym, a boutique gym that we hired sales professionals for, and personal trainers for. So it's a broad scope of what we do, and having them come together and talk about their struggles and what it is that they are seeing in the market when they're going out and making these hires, or they're, when they're onboarding someone. It was really great to see all these different people from different walks of life talk about their experiences. And then we were able to offer, here's what we can do. So I think that was really great. And I think that was such a, a good time for us. And it really was good to get feedback on everything that, they said. And yeah, I think that was an amazing experience.
That's a great example. What a great example of collaboration across all fields. Everyone can learn from everyone else. If everyone just wants to help each other, boy, oh boy, can we all go and grow so appropriately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Christian, what's the best way that people can reach out to you to learn more about KO Business Solutions, and certainly just to talk to you yourself about some ways that you can help them?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you could find me on LinkedIn, Christian Leal, KO Business Solutions. That's the easiest way to find me. I am out and about all the time at GOA events. So GOA is the Greater O'Hare Association. There's events all over the place. I'm also on the committee there for the young professionals. So anybody looking to do some young professional networking, I would love to have you out at some of our events. And then just, give me a call, shoot me an email. I can give it to Joe and he can put it on there. But yeah, I would love to talk to anybody who's interested in learning about what's going on in the market with hiring, what companies are seeing, and what we're seeing, and how that could be beneficial to you if you're looking for a job or if your company's hiring. It doesn't have to be a long talk. It'd be quick 15 minutes. And, yeah. So that's the best way to get a hold of me.
Awesome. Well, Christian, listen, man, again, it's great to see you again. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
And it really seems if somebody wants to be aligned with somebody that's so passionate about helping others in the space that you're doing, so that getting a hold of you is a good thing. So once again, thank you so much for your time today, Christian.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joe.